going to review today the Brandon Lilly Cube Method style training program. I'm going to just walk you through the program, do a brief tutorial on what it's about and how to run this program. Now, this program is super simple. It looks a little bit complicated when you first look at it, but once you break it down, it's really quite straightforward. So, right, let's get started. So this was a sheet I created to give you a bit of background information. This is the actual program, and this is my breakdown of the program, these last two sheets. You can just ignore them if you're not interested. So, so the first thing you must do is put in your max reps here in these yellow highlighted cells. And what it does for you is it will automatically calculate your training max. That is 95% of your current 1 rep max. So that's something you need to bear in mind. Now I guess you do this program only in pounds, so this program really is just for pounds, because I can see that we're rounding to the nearest 5, which would kind of can imply that this is more for pounds. Yeah, so but just put your 1 rep maxes in here. I don't think it really matters if it's pounds or kilograms. So let's actually have a look at this. So we got I split this into 3 waves. We've got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, which is similar about kind of how I perceive this program, how it operates, how it works. Wave 1 is week 1, 2, and 3. Wave 2, 4, 5, and 6. Wave 3 is 7, 8, and 9. So it's a 9-week program. So what you got is you got this kind of heavy, explosive, and repetition thing. Each week for each lift, you do a heavy, explosive, and repetition, and then you rotate that each wave. So for example, we can see the heavy is in the wave 1, you do 5 sets to 80%. Wave 2, which is week 4, 5, and 6, you do 3 sets to 85%, not 80 anymore. And then wave 3, that's the final 3 weeks of the program. You do 90, 92.5, and 95% of your 1 rep max. So when we actually look at the program here, we're going to look at it. We've got heavy. It says in this cell right here, the effort, meaning is it heavy, is it explosive, is it repetition based? What is the effort that you need to produce to make this actually work? We can see this is the reps, this is the sets, this is the weight. This is the percentage, and we can see that we're doing the squat, heavy squats on week 1, and then we go to week 2, we can see that we're doing explosive squats, and then week 3, you see that you are doing 1 set of 8 for 80%, so you're doing your repetition work. So that's kind of how it works. Each wave you do 1 for each lift, so you always do your bench. As you can see, you start explosive week 1, repetition week 2, and you finish heavy on week 3. Same applies for the deadlift. You repetition week 1, heavy week 2, and explosive on week 3. So it works out quite logically. So you're not doing heavy all week 1, explosive all week 2, repetition all week 3, because then you would be maxed out, you'd be burnt out, you run the risk of central nervous system fatigue and not achieving what you need to do. So you're squatting heavy on Monday, but you're doing repetition deadlift on Friday, so that kind of gives you that rest in between. You're not doing too much max effort training in 1 week, but then you reduce that, you do explosive work on the squat day 1, week 2, but then day 3 you do the deadlift and you do the heavy stuff. So it kind of works out quite simple. And then explosive 8 sets to 3, 6 sets to 5 sets to 60%, 65, and 70%. Repetition work, it's 1 set of 8, 70, 1 set of 6, 70, 80, and 1 set of 6, 80. So this really just explains the rep schemes and the percentages that you do for each effort of training, heavy, explosive, repetition. Quite simple there. And you can see this is the number of reps that you do. You can see in wave 1 you do 42 reps for each lift, wave 2 24, wave 3 19, and that kind of gives you an idea of how this program works. And as you can see, we do a total of 85 reps for each lift in one wave, so in 3 weeks, and then throughout the whole program, the 3 waves, you do a total of 126 reps. So that's how that works. Let's have a look at the breakdown of each week. So as I said before, you can see that we do on week 1, we do squats, explosive, heavy, 5 sets of 2, 80%, bench, explosive, 8 sets of 3, deadlift, repetition, 1 set of 8, 70%. So this is really just giving you an overview of the structure of this program. A little bit easier to look at because unlike this one, you have to scroll all the way down. This is a little bit easier to just look at every week, so you have an overview, you know what you're doing, you can look at this and think, okay, I know what I'm doing on this day, and this day. And that's what I've already talked about. So yeah, that's basically it really. That is the wave program. So all you need to understand is that each exercise, each wave, you do heavy, explosive, and a repetition. Some people say that the repetition just isn't really repetition. You're either doing 8 reps week 1 in the first wave, you're doing 6 reps and 6 reps wave 2, wave 3. So it's not exactly repetition work, is it? Some people actually like to mess around with this a little bit and do 3 sets of 8, 3 sets of 6, 3 sets of 6. I think that that's actually achievable. I don't think it's actually a big ask. But in terms of the heavy, that's more than fine for heavy work, heavy effort stuff. You're doing 5 sets of 2, 80%. So that's 10 reps, 3 sets of 2, 85%. And then 3 sets heavy singles, 90, 92.5 and 95. That makes sense. I wouldn't change this. And the same with the explosive work. Explosive basically is dynamic training. You're focusing on force production, being explosive, being speedy with your reps. You're doing 8 sets 3, 6 sets 2, 5 sets of 2. When I did this one, I actually used some chains and bands to try and increase the resistance to make it a little bit more difficult, so I was more explosive. But that's up to you whether you want to do that. And take shorter rests between each set. You probably only need about 1 minute rest at the max. So that's it really. That's the program as it is. There's not much else to really talk about. It's a really simple program. My criticism is that it doesn't really give you much more information about what else you can do. So, you know, you're only squatting and benching and deadlifting once a week. And in one wave you're doing that. Yes, you're doing 3 different types of effort for each lift, but is that actually really enough volume, intensity to create a strength adaptation? I don't really think so. So I wouldn't really rate this program too highly, but I just wanted to give you a breakdown and an overview on how this program works. If you like this video, like it, check out if you have any other ideas on programs I could review, do some tutorials for, comment below, and check out my Instagram. You can follow me there, you can message me there, no problem. And I've got my website below. You can download this program from my website, and I also got a little bit of background information about the Cube program and Brand and Lily on my website. Might be interesting for you. So keep lifting, stay strong, and never give up.